Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast with Warhog Tactical and Kelly Defense. I am Mark Kelly from kellydefense.com, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host and friend from warhog.com, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's going great. You know what? I want to thank you, the viewer, listener out there, for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. Speaking of time, here's the deal. It's that first of the month again. Warhawk Skill Builder, it's here. This month is the TAC magazine change for either your carbine or your pistol or both, however you want to work it. Little different for the aspect of you can still use time as a matrix to capture some data, but it's a little different because the TAC magazine change is more about being efficient with your firearms manipulation. Not that we don't want to be efficient with all the other ones, but just a little different variant on some things. So anyway, you'll see that article coming out in Safariland. I'll get the blog up on warhog.com. So since you're out surfing the webs looking for all this important information, as Mark said, swing by warhog.com, kellydefense.com, and the brand new On the Range podcast. Sign up for the newsletters. Trust me, we will not inundate you. I need to get one out. A little behind the times. But since you're out there as well, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a rating, review, all that other good stuff to help beat this big tech suppression that we're under. We're in the firearms industry. You know, we like to help people. We are Americans, and man, big tech doesn't like that. So just help us out, guys.
Yeah, wherever you are, thank you for making this part of your day. The Skill Builder is out that Rick puts out every month, and this is our third one this year. We started in January. It's been really good, but the TAC Mag Reload, can't stress that one enough. Can't stress that one enough. We talked about it. I had a private this weekend, private class, talked about the TAC Mag Reload. If you like that kind of stuff and you like this content, go to the ontheRangePodcast.com and check out the crew membership. We got the swag, got the OTR crew hats on. We got the 45, 47 crew hat. Those who are watching get a real good treat. Go check it out. We got all the hats and the shirts. It's just a lot of fun. But the biggest part of that is you get access to the training catalog that Rick and I have, as well as group video calls with the crew membership. That's tomorrow. You join, you try it for free for 2 weeks. You get a 2 weeks free trial of the all access. You can join in tomorrow. So go check that out and make sure you do that. And that's going to be on March the 4th. That's our next call. So if you join today or that morning, you can get the link. We'll ship it to you, and we're ready to go. You know what,
buddy.
Rick? The crew members know this. We talk about it all the time, that you can't always trust the media. Not always.
I'm sorry, buddy. Trust in media? That's comical. Well, hang on. I got to rephrase. You got to be careful in the word media. So legacy media, no trusting.
Good point.
Right? If you want to say the new generation media, because that's what we're going to call the podcasters and those of us out there really looking to get the truth out. So yeah, or would the White House call it the I'm drawing a blank. Free media?
Alternative news sources?
That's it. Alternative. Yeah. So alternative news sources. Yes. So your mainstream media, dead, laughable. Not even, but yeah, your alternative news source, like On the Range podcast, here we are.
Yeah. Speaking of that, our next guest is one of those that's coming up here in the next couple episodes. And she is she's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to have her on. But just to start us off with a bang, all those who are viewing are going to be able to see this. For example, this is on the On the Range podcast X feed. So we talked about this earlier. Breaking news, everyone. According to Brian Allen, U.S. nuclear sub forced to turn back after fuel snub. The USS Delaware, a Virginia-class nuclear attack submarine, found itself stranded off of Norway's coast after they were apparently refused refuel. So, of course, our response is, hey, man, what does that type of fuel, does that submarine take? Is it 87 or 93% octane? You can't always believe the legacy media, but hey, whatever. It's amazing that this stuff is even out there, that a nuclear sub needed to get gas and ended up getting stranded off of the coast of Norway. So pretty comical, but that's not really the only stuff we're talking about. We're talking about the spin that we're seeing. And honestly, the last couple of days, it was really hard and heavy there for a couple of days after and of course we're talking about the meeting in the Oval Office with Zelensky when he was there to sign the original mineral deal, which turned into a fiasco. I wouldn't say a disaster. The only person I believe this was a disaster for was the person and the individuals in the Ukraine. That's who I think. That's who really is the one who's suffering from this. But the CNNs and the MSNBCs and those folks, they really throttled that back a couple of times. I think because they had Marco Rubio on there, who was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They had Mike Waltz on there. They had the retired general, who's a frequent contributor, and they were all talking about, hey, man, I know what you're thinking. It seemed like this was a coordinated attack, but honestly, this was something that Zelensky did to himself and his chief of staff, and this is catastrophic, in my opinion. And he has no other choice but to come back to the table with Trump here pretty soon. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Here's the thing, Mark. We're in a very unique time, and here's why. We've said this for a very long time. You run this company like a business, a successful business, and things get done. What you're seeing is, I'm telling you, you don't become a billionaire, whether it's Trump, Musk, whatever, by boo-hooing about the spilt milk from yesterday. You're already thinking way beyond what's going on. So you're telling me that Trump and his staff, when they sat down and go, hey, man, here's the mineral rights for what we're looking for Ukraine. Yeah, makes sense, right? Makes perfect sense. Now you got arrogant Zelensky rolling in, and he rolls into our house, the people's house, and thinks he's going to push Trump around. Dude, he might as well just gave him an old term from The Apprentice going, hey, dude, you're fired. There's the door.
Yeah.
You basically ungrateful SOB. And
Yeah.
Zelensky's been like that from the get-go. You know, he snubbed Biden there. They got caught, you know. So a lot of these, the media is going to put their spin on it, how they want to put their spin, whatever narrative they're trying to push. Dude, at the end of the day, they need us more than we need them. And Trump said it. Hey, man, you're basically between both sides, about 1.4 million of your combatants killed. That's a boatload of people. He's just trying to bring peace to it. Yeah. And then, oh, by the way, how do we recoup some of these dollars that have been given? And I think in Zelensky's case, he thought it was a grant, not a loan.
Well, the previous administration treated it that way, but the European Union and everybody else who contributed, all that money was guaranteed. They were going to get it back through what Zelensky seems to believe is going to be paid by from Russia. However that happens, it doesn't matter. You owe us that money.
Yeah.
And the United States was not getting that benefit of, dumping hundreds of millions of dollars in. Now, you can argue that, the European Union dumped in more, and I don't know exactly the numbers because I'm seeing a bunch of different stuff. But the fact of the matter is, there's not one individual contributor that's even close to what the United States has contributed with zero guarantee. It's not coming back. That money's never coming back again. So no, it doesn't make any sense for us not to get something.
And the hat's off to Trump, right? He's thinking like a businessman. So let's think about it. You're going to broker this deal with Zelensky for the mineral rights. Okay. In turn, you'll get an end to this combat that's been going on over there way too long. And then let's think about it. What are the doors does that open? So if you look at what China is doing, and this is the genius of it. Like Trump's no dummy, man. He understands global economics. He understands what the Chinese have been doing. The Chinese are all over the world sucking up people's mineral rights. Look what they're doing down in Brazil, right? You're whacking the Amazon like nobody's business. Let's think about it. You're laying the groundwork for other countries, I believe, to reach out to the U.S. and go, hey, man, what about us? Hey, man, what about us?
Yeah. And I guarantee that was explained, and Zelensky understood that. I guarantee it.
I don't think Zelensky understood it from the global aspect, right? And that really hasn't been publicized. That's Rick's That's my opinion.
When I say understanding, I mean that he knew that that's what we were doing. Like,
Oh,
this is what we're asking for.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a no-brainer deal,
Yeah.
right? You have bills to pay. You technically don't have the hard currency to pay forward. No problem. We're going to work out a mineral rights deal. I mean, it only makes sense. But here's the other part. Zelensky's been hell-bent trying to get into NATO. And NATO's like, no, don't want you.
Yeah.
Don't need you. This is the part that he forgets. This mineral right deal also works his security piece unbeknownst. So
Mhm.
now you start getting U.S. businesses there, U.S. interests. Is that not in itself a form of security?
100%.
Yeah.
And the
So
beauty of that is, and before anybody who's 100% in on what Zelensky was doing and you're not grasping what we're saying because maybe we're just not explaining it the way that you understand, is we do not want to see anybody lose any more people.
Mhm.
Period. Period. The mineral rights and those other types of things isn't necessarily us swooping in there to try to take advantage of a country that's under attack. That's 100% not true. NATO, I would say majority of those countries do not want to let Ukraine in to NATO. I haven't heard anybody really vouching for it, to be honest with you, other
Mm-mm.
than Biden dribbling his oatmeal down his chin, mentioning that. That was a
Yeah.
horrible mistake, and Trump's mentioned that. Zelensky, with his actions, and I think it was planned, I think once those cameras turned on, he tried to throw out the anti-Putin propaganda and turn this conversation into jury by the American people. That's what he tried to do. And Trump was forced to say, you're not getting NATO. You're not getting NATO.
Mhm.
And here's the thing about NATO, folks, and we're going to talk about another country who said the same thing to the EU, who's trying to get out front and getting some support while in the background's calling Trump, saying, hey, we agree with you. But that's neither here or there. With NATO, they are trying desperately not to lose the United States.
Mhm.
Desperately.
I mean, that's the part people forget.
Yep.
If you understand why the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was even established, know some history, right? It's Cold War based.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the Warsaw Pact and NATO, the only only one left is NATO,
Yep.
right? And we've thus over the years actually got some Warsaw
And they're
excuse me,
hanging
some
on by
Warsaw
a
Pact
thread.
countries in there,
They're
right?
hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It was our deterrence against the Soviet Union with our European allies. So if you look at it, NATO kind of went right where the Iron Curtain was or began, or however you want to look at it. People forget the history behind it. And willy-nilly, it was a deterrent system. It still is. Article 5, attack on one's attack on all. So that was the whole concept of how do we preserve peace in the world with two nuclear superpowers battling basically for global domination. That's what it was.
Right.
So, and again, the NATO membership just isn't taken willy-nilly. Hey,
No.
schmuckles, yeah, come on board. No, because you have to understand the ramifications. People have to look at geopolitics. I mean, there's a bunch of things going on when you're looking at it coming into NATO. So, dude, look at this is the part that kills me. You're watching Trump work the ultimate business deal, peace, right? And for the average American person, you don't comprehend the horrors of war, especially at that level. We haven't seen the American people haven't felt that level since that Civil War era
Right.
numbers, right?
Right.
Just crazy. But he is working the deal to broker peace between um, Ukraine and Russia. But the part is people want to sit there and make arguments, and then Zelensky comes in thinking he's going to be Johnny Cool. Dude, have you not watched anything? Trump is like, pack your stuff and get out. I'm giving you an option. Does he have to do? Let's be an honest broker. Trump could sit there and cut his losses. Go, hey, dude, we've dished out however many trillions of dollars to you. Hey, we're going to cut our losses. Best of luck to you. But no, in the business fashion, looking out for the American people, because in essence, that's what he's doing. He's helping out both Ukraine and Russia to stop the loss of lives. But then, how do we recoup part of Eventually, we'll get it, I hope. But part of this freaking funding of this conflict,
And Zelensky was talking about the security agreements before anybody's even come to the table, which was the big problem with what Trump was saying. He's like, I don't even think I can get you two together yet. You have to do something to let everyone know you're serious about it. And you're right. They said, hey, this is over. This isn't going to happen. Thank you for coming. See you later. But I think that you brought up a great point with the Article 5 of the NATO. Zelensky threw that card in really early. Really early, saying that the Americans need to send troops over here and take this war over. No, baby, no. That's one thing that Biden didn't do, thank goodness. But he threw that hat in the ring early. And here's another thing, too. I'm not sympathizing with anybody here other than the plight of the Ukrainian people who have to go through this. What are we going to do? We're going to continue to surround Russia with NATO? Does that look like any kind of path to peace? Nobody who says they stand with Ukraine, and you know who I care about? I care about the Ukrainians who are dying. Same with the Russians. I don't want everybody to keep getting killed over there. It's freaking a ton. It's enough. We're at a good point to start talking diplomacy. But what are they supposed to do? NATO, if they keep pushing this fact, and the European Union is really the ones who's leading it. You haven't heard a ton of NATO. You've heard a lot of the European Union. Why are they pushing that? And I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, because we're going to put Putin, a NATO member who's nuclear war capable, we're going to push him into a corner? That's how you find peace? I don't think so.
No. And the problem is you're a day late and dollar short.
Yeah.
War has started.
Yep.
Right? Now's not the time. I mean, you're basically, if you were to sit there and embrace Ukraine and say, yeah, come on into NATO, well, you're already attacked. You might as well, that's World War III. Nuclear Armageddon, because at that point, well, you've attacked a NATO member. How do you retaliate?
Yeah.
So the problem is you take, and people have to understand the geography of Europe and Asia, because you got the whole blend there of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, and understand where things are laid out. Ukraine used to be part of the USSR, the Soviet Union, right? Obviously, when that fell, they broke off. Here's the thing. You start encroaching, and you're going to put Putin, who's still a hardcore Soviet, back against the wall. That's just bad business.
Yeah.
This mineral right deal sets things up where, hey, Putin was trying to do a land grab, didn't work out, catastrophic for both ends. We can recoup some stuff, save some face, because we were kind of talking about this. Hey, now it's being kicked around. What about a mineral deal for Russia, right? I mean, think about it. Both sides could work out. Oh, hey, man, you want some minerals here, some minerals there? Everybody comes out a winner. But Zelensky's been the bullheaded one throughout, because even when the U.S. went to initially have the peace talks, he's like, the U.S. doesn't negotiate for us. Well, where are your people, dude? You're doing nothing to help get the ball rolling. In my personal opinion, Zelensky doesn't want it to end. He wants the cash cow. He's in bed with the Democrats, right? I mean, think about the amount of money that USAID gave out to actors to go over to Ukraine. Ooh, Sean Penn bringing your Oscar to Zelensky. Here, buddy, hold on to it for safekeeping. Well, at a price of $5 million. Right. It's just, dude, he is kicking back, living large. Audit the books. Show us the receipts. How much money you got in your bank account? So,
yeah.
If I were him, I wouldn't want it to end either. I got
You
the
know,
cash cow. I got the cash cow funding me, right?
yeah. I mean,
So
if you're sitting there expecting a 100% total victory with you not losing something, that land that they, buddy, then you're not interested in peace.
no,
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, look, Russia attacked. Not saying that he shouldn't have done that. It's horrific war that they started. They are at fault for this. Okay, fine. I totally agree with that. I'm not talking about that. We are in a position where you're you have an opportunity to stop this war. You have an opportunity to stop it
yep,
and end the bloodshed. And Trump, if they didn't need Trump, he wouldn't even be in the conversation. He wouldn't even
no,
be in the conversation. They need him. Peace is going to come through here.
yeah,
And it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to be a huge, huge victory for Donald Trump to end this conflict. Zelensky said he's not even agreeing to a ceasefire, and that was this week in Europe.
yeah.
He's not ready. But the story is coming out that he wants to come back and sign that deal now. I wonder what's changed. I don't think anything changed.
No, the only thing that probably has changed is he's probably looked at the bank account and gone, "Hey, man, I haven't got a deposit lately."
Yeah. It's not coming.
No, nor should it. Right? The cash cow. You are in a spot for peace. You need no more assistance.
Yeah.
But you are being bullheaded. And do you really want it? There is no leader in the world of his right mind that doesn't want peace for his people, doesn't want security for his people. And I'm just not seeing it. You know, let's think about it. What has he really done outside of just going, "Hey, we need money. Hey, we need money. Hey, we need money."
Yeah.
And really, it's the Ukrainian people, Ukrainian military that stopped the Soviet advance.
Yeah.
What is he really? He's not a tactician. I mean, he's an actor by trade. He's going off of whatever, how much is he actually running, doing, whatever. But
Yeah.
dude,
And I'm not saying that his leadership right out of the bat wasn't heroic. It wasn't
no.
bad. It was good. He's out there with it. He's on the line with the troops. He meets with them. I know he cares about it.
Mhm.
But you're at a point where you can end it.
Yes.
You're at a point where you can end it.
Mhm.
And this isn't like a George S. Patton, demand to continue fighting because you had the upper hand at that. He's
Mhm.
got no leverage here. He's
No.
got no chance of pushing them out. It is a 100% stalemate.
Mhm.
You got to end the bloodshed. And here's another thing too about all the folks who are cheering for the European Union. To me, you know what I say? It's about damn time. That's what I say.
Mhm.
But that's me. It's my opinion. But I'm not, diminishing what they're doing. But $2 billion from, I think it was UK, 2 billion. Okay, we're at a minimum of 180 billion minimum.
Mhm.
So they draft up this stuff and all this aid. Well, the Hungarian prime minister blocked it. He flat out just said that the action follows Hungary's consistent stance, and this is from our X page, that he expressed the skepticism about the EU's approach, suggesting that it might escalate the conflict to what they're doing. If
Mhm.
they put UN troops in there, and they are attacked, they do something, they are attacked, then absolutely 100% now Article 5 is triggered according to what Zelensky's saying, and that's exactly what he wants,
But why do you need UN troops?
so that they can say that a NATO was attacked.
Well, yes, but you're missing my point, right? Who's pushing for you? What's the purpose of UN troops there? There is none, right? Short
Yeah.
of setting a hook. So you look at
Well, that's it. It's exactly right. It's setting a hook is what it is.
right, but you look at UN peacekeepers that have been around the world in the past.
Yeah.
It's usually to a country that doesn't have any type of military arm for themselves, or there's some type of um, coup d'etat going on, or there's something turmoil within that country that country can't do something for themselves. Well,
Right.
Ukraine still has, they still got their military.
Mhm.
Might not be at a strength that it was before, right? Hey, dude, doesn't need to do diddly. But the part is, this is my perception with it is, like Trump said, NATO's off the plate, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't need to happen. The security or safety comes in whenever we start getting U.S. business there as a byproduct.
Right.
That's the part that I think is the key miss. Ukraine should be sitting there going, yeah, dude, come on in. Right. Because again, not saying that just because you have foreign interest, foreign U.S. interest disrupted overseas is going to inflict, us doing something against whatever country, but it's definitely a deterrent. People are going to think twice before they go,
100%. I think they would think more so about that.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So the question of the hour boils down, at what point, maybe it is next week, does Zelensky go, yeah, dude, sounds good. At what point are the phone calls picked up? Hey, man, ceasefire is today, now, whatever. Stop the bloodshed, and then let's get things rolling. Okay,
I bet you Trump is probably asking him to do that before his address tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. I think that'd be a great move, or at least announcing that he's coming back to sign it. Something.
I mean, it should have already been done, because I think everyone was under the impression by him coming back to the White House, hey man, I'm here to do a deal.
That's what the Oval Office thought. They thought this was done.
Exactly. But
and then he blindsided them. That was ridiculous.
You pull a punk move.
Yeah, you pull a punk move when you're the one whose people are dying. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To get more money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. I can't get over some of this reaction. And I think you're right. I think a lot of it's just ignorance and not understanding exactly how poorly this could go. And maybe what's changed for Zelensky. I know that Trump said, you know what, we're going to pull about 30,000 troops away from that area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, this is too hot for me. You're trying to drag us into an endless war with an endless load of money coming from the United States, and we're just not interested. This is the wrong move for you, for us, for everybody, even for Ukraine. We're out. Yeah. I don't disagree with him. And like you said, anybody who's never been in harm's way wouldn't even understand this.
No.
It's just crazy.
I mean, I can't even imagine, the horrors on, for the families on both sides.
Oh, man.
Right. And then you got to think, we haven't even seen all the destruction across, primarily at Ukraine. But the thing is, here's the other crazy part. When you look at this whole thing, you had Russians go through the Chernobyl area, which is still radioactive, man.
Oh, dude. Right? Hot as a firecracker.
Dude, how many of those Russian poor kids that had a truck through there, it's still an exclusion zone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be for like 1,000 years, man. How many of them cats are all jacked up?
Oh, dude, you're right. That death toll is going to continue to rise from the catastrophic injuries to the exposure. It's horrible.
Crazy. Just stop it now, and you've got the mechanism in place.
Isn't it a crazy world when Donald Trump and many who agree with us are saying, let's end this chaos and death? Let's end it. We got an opportunity here. And they're shouting you down like you're some kind of a Putin lapdog. No, dude, I want this war to stop. Yeah. I don't want the American people paying for it for the next 10 years.
Well, here's the beauty. If you get the mineral deals stuck in place,
right,
we're going to start recouping.
I know.
Right. So right now the checkbook is super in the red.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the Ukrainian line, right? Nothing. We won't even get into what Doge is doing, all that stuff.
Oh,
just
dude.
Straight Ukraine red. It's going to take some time to get that back in the black.
Yeah, I
that
don't
should
care how
be,
many minerals you give us. It's going to take a while. That's a
dude,
lot of jack.
it's a lot. You're talking a very, very long time to recoup, but at least you're getting something back.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key part. If nothing else,
Well,
you
you're
stop
in
the war.
business, right?
What's
Like you
that?
said. Like you
Yeah.
said, you're in business. Now we're in business. It's a mutual thing where we're working together. That's the security.
Mhm.
It's not just me giving you money to fight off Putin.
No,
It's
no.
crazy.
Stop the bloodshed, recoup some losses, and let's get this thing done. So, um, it, dude, it's a no-brainer.
No brainer.
And here's the thing, it's genius, right? Absolutely genius.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
hopefully, hopefully we get the change.
Yeah. And then it's such a good deal that Putin's like, well, maybe I need to get in on this.
Well, that and I think you're going to see the rest of the world, right? Mark
I do
mark my
too.
words.
I hope so.
Trump's not he's not a stupid dude, man. He understands economy. He understands what's going on. And if you guys aren't looking at what China's doing,
Yeah.
dude, they are all over the world doing the same type of mineral deals.
Yep.
So now what you're doing is on the global stage, letting all the other leaders know, hey man,
We're open for business.
you might have made a bad choice with the communists.
Yep.
We're in business to work some freaking mineral deals here.
Yep. And we're going to come in. We're going to, especially like you mentioned this in pre-production, the continent of Africa.
Mhm.
Hey man, not only are we going to start paying your people a fair price, we're going to make the conditions safe. Grown-ups, grown men can come in and earn money for their families, not kids.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It has a global, just wait. It's got the potential to be globally impactful.
Yep. It's going to be a big win for the Trump administration, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's coming sooner than later. I
Mhm.
think so.
Mhm.
So anyway, everyone, thank you for making this part of your day. The show continues on the crew members page with the bonus content. Like we said before, if you enjoy this content, go to ontheRangePodcast.com, join the crew. You can try it for free for 2 weeks for the all access package, get all the good stuff. And you know what? We might have to do some giveaways with all the swag we got coming out.
Dude, I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. Maybe a slightly used El Prez.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
get a couple more workouts in there. You know, sign.
Hey, Elvis used to give his scarves away off stage.
Dude, and they ate it up, right?
They ate it up.
I'll sign the hat. You know.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And then, you know, we have a couple of things like a couple signature items that we've got arranged to send out there. It's going to be big. So
Yeah.
anyway, just everybody who's interested in this, just go check it out on the crew members page.
And for the rest of you guys, don't forget, train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.